Johnny's Bar and Grill, Mexican and American cuisine with daily and weekly specials, juicy burgers, mouth-watering tacos, and more. 1519 West Highway 150 in Lincolnton.
Time now for our weekly recap of a few of the top crime stories we had for you during the week of January 6 through January 10 here on the WHKY News. I'm Ralph Mangum. Let's get started.
A man arrested by authorities in Catawba County was jailed under more than $500,000 bond. 44-year-old Dirk Rodney Nixon of Vail was arrested Friday by Catawba County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with trafficking opium or heroin, felony maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place for controlled substance, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and misdemeanor probation violation. Nixon was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under $515,000 bond as he awaited a Monday district court date. A superior court date is set for February 20th. 48-year-old Billy Dwayne Caldwell of Buffalo Shoals Road in Maiden was arrested Sunday by Catawba County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Caldwell was incarcerated in the Catawba County Detention Facility under no bond as he awaited a Monday district court date. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
A Lenoir resident was arrested for possession of drugs within 1,000 feet of a park. 39-year-old Randall Scott Green of Strawberry Way in Lenoir was arrested Friday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with felony counts of possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver Schedule I controlled substance and manufacture, sell, or deliver controlled substance within 1,000 feet of a park. Green was also charged with misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. He was also jailed under $100,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for January 6th. And a Lenoir man charged with possession of controlled substance. 47-year-old William Shane Patton of Buccaneer Way in Lenoir was arrested Friday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. Patton was charged with 5 felonies: breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering, possession with intent to manufacture Schedule II controlled substance, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and fleeing to elude arrest. He was also charged with 3 counts of failure to appear in court. Patton was jailed under $3,000 cash and $40,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for January 6th and a superior court date scheduled for February 3rd. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
46-year-old Samuel Eric Hunt, who is listed as a homeless person from Hickory, was arrested by Hickory police on December 30th on 1 felony count of possession of a stolen motor vehicle, along with misdemeanor counts of possession of drug paraphernalia and driving while license revoked. Hunt was taken into custody without incident at about 1:15 last Monday afternoon at Highway 70 Southwest and U.S. Highway 321. He was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility, where he is being held without bond as the result of pre-trial release conditions. He remained in jail as of this afternoon. An appearance in district court was scheduled on January 3rd, with his next court date set for January 21st. Hunt is currently awaiting a March 3rd Superior Court appearance in Newton on a felony breaking and entering charge. And 27-year-old Tyler Warren Adams of Walt Arney Road in Lenoir was arrested last Thursday by authorities in Caldwell County. He's charged in Catawba County with 3 felony counts of breaking and entering, 2 counts of larceny after breaking and entering, along with single counts of felony possession of stolen goods and misdemeanor larceny. Adams was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under a $52,000 bond. District court appearances were scheduled January 6th and 22nd and February 25th. 55-year-old Donzel Lamont Wilfong of Hickory has been arrested by Hickory police and charged with assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious injury, and possession of a firearm by a felon. Wilfong's arrest is in connection with a shooting that occurred at about 5 p.m. yesterday at the landings of Hickory, 1836 20th Avenue Drive Northeast. Responding officers found 31-year-old Lee Marquise Wilson of Hickory suffering from gunshot wounds. Wilfong and Wilson were reportedly involved in a verbal conflict prior to the shooting. Mr. Wilson was transported to Catawba Valley Medical Center, where he was listed in stable condition. The suspect was located at the scene and taken into custody. Will Fong was placed in the Catawba County Detention Facility, where he is being held without bond. A first appearance in district court was scheduled today in Newton. The investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information regarding the incident should contact investigator Cameron Story at cstory@hickorync.gov or call the Hickory Police Department at 828-328-5551.
The suspect in this case is charged in connection to a wrong-way collision in mid-December in Johnston County that claimed a woman's life. The suspect was taken into custody this past weekend following a traffic stop in eastern North Carolina. That traffic stop occurred on Interstate 95. He was placed in jail without bond. 49-year-old Robert Brad Williams of Hickory was arrested Saturday by the North Carolina State Highway Patrol. He's charged with felony involuntary manslaughter, 4 counts of felony hit and run resulting in severe injury or death, and 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. The charges are in connection to a fatal crash in Johnston County in December. The deceased is 24-year-old Courtney Summer Atkins of Goldsboro. According to the website hoodline.com, the crash occurred December 15th when Williams, allegedly driving in the wrong direction, struck an oncoming white Jeep Cherokee head-on. Atkins was killed in the impact, and a woman alongside a 4-year-old boy and his father were all seriously injured and taken to Wake Med for treatment. According to the online report, Williams' arrest occurred just after 3:40 p.m. Saturday. Troopers made a traffic stop on a 2016 white Mercedes-Benz on I-95 northbound at the 71-mile marker in Harnett County. Williams, a passenger in the vehicle during the traffic stop, was being tracked from Robeson County through Cumberland County prior to his arrest. As of the time I'm filing this report, the suspect is being held in the Johnston County Detention Center in Smithfield under no bond. A court date was scheduled on Monday.
The Caldwell County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help in locating 31-year-old Zachary George Stevenson. He's wanted for interfering with his electronic monitoring device. Stevenson is a white male, 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing 170 pounds. Anyone with information regarding the whereabouts of Zachary George Stevenson should call Caldwell County Communications 828-758-2324 or Crime Stoppers 828-758-8300. Crime Stoppers callers may remain anonymous and could receive a cash reward if the information provided leads to an arrest. If I had hair, that's the hair I'd want to have. 19-year-old Yoselin Elena Lopez Velasquez of Morganton was arrested by Morganton Public Safety officers Sunday for felony assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, along with the crime of domestic violence, driving while impaired, driving after consuming, and consuming alcohol by a 19 or 20-year-old. At about 10:30 Sunday night, officers were dispatched to an address on Curtis Street in reference to a motor vehicle collision with injuries. Officers found 2 vehicles still running with no occupants, approximately 40 feet to the right of the roadway. 1 vehicle had been pushed into the woods. Several neighbors who heard the collision reported seeing 2 individuals running up the street and away from the collision. Officers found one of the drivers, identified as Yoselin Elena Lopez Velasquez, walking on Curtis Street. Lopez Velasquez told officers she ran into the second vehicle intentionally. She identified the second driver as her boyfriend and told officers where he might be located. Officers interviewed the boyfriend and began to investigate a domestic violence incident. Lopez Velasquez was screened for driving while impaired. Upon further investigation, she was arrested and jailed without bond. A first appearance was scheduled on January 6th, with another court date coming up on January 27th.
Police reportedly seized fentanyl, marijuana, and cash during their investigation that led to the arrest of the suspect in this case. He was placed in jail following the arrest under more than $500,000 bond. As of the time I'm filing this report, the suspect is not listed as an inmate in the Catawba County Detention Facility. 44-year-old Dirk Rodney Nixon of Vail was arrested Friday by Catawba County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with trafficking, opium or heroin, felony maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place for controlled substance, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and misdemeanor probation violation. WHKY previously reported on the arrest Monday. More information has been released on this case. On Friday, investigators with the Catawba County Sheriff's Office Narcotics Division seized a trafficking amount of fentanyl while assisting probation officers. The seizure occurred at a residence on Hope Road in Vail. Investigators also seized 11 grams of marijuana and $1,939 in U.S. currency. Following the arrest, Nixon was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under $515,000 bond. As of the time I'm filing this report, he is not listed as an inmate in that facility. A court date was scheduled on Monday. He also has a Superior Court date scheduled on February 20th. Reporting from Catawba County for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
A Lenoir man was charged with multiple felonies in Caldwell County. 43-year-old William Alfred Blevins, Jr. of Lenoir was arrested Saturday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with 7 felonies, 2 counts possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 2 counts of the purchase of a firearm in violation of a domestic order, and 3 counts of violating a domestic violence order. Blevins was jailed under no bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. He is scheduled to appear in District Court on January 22nd, and a Granite Falls man arrested for attempted burglary. 35-year-old Kenneth Michael Tramble of Granite Falls was arrested Saturday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with 1 felony count, attempted first-degree burglary, and misdemeanor counts of injury to personal property and violation of a domestic violence protection order. Tramble was jailed under a $162,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for January 22nd. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY. Statesville police are investigating an armed robbery at a business on Sunday, January 5th. At approximately 8:40 p.m., officers with the Statesville Police Department responded to a report of an armed robbery at Dollar General at 1703 Wilkesboro Highway. According to employees, a man entered the store, displayed a firearm, and demanded money. He forced employees to open the safe and fled the scene on foot with an undisclosed amount of cash. No employees or customers were injured during the incident. The suspect is described as a black male, approximately 30 years old, wearing a light gray hoodie and light colored pants. You can see a surveillance photo in this story at our website, WHKY.com, and here. If anyone recognizes this individual or has any information regarding the case, contact Sergeant Wolf with the Statesville Police Department at 704-878-3406 or via email at a link you can find in this story at our website. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
35-year-old Katwan O'Neill Moss was sentenced to serve 6 to 8 years in prison following his conviction for trafficking fentanyl and cocaine on separate occasions. He entered a guilty plea during Catawba County Superior Court on Tuesday. The Honorable Karen Edie Williams, Superior Court judge from Mecklenburg County, imposed terms of the active sentence. After Moss entered a guilty plea, the defendant will also be required to pay a mandatory fine of $500,000. Moss entered the guilty plea for the trafficking charges that occurred in 2024 and 2023. On May 20th of 2024, Moss was found to be in possession of a trafficking amount of fentanyl along with a concealed weapon during a traffic stop after giving consent to search. On September 1st of 2023, the defendant was being treated by emergency personnel when he was found unconscious. When he regained consciousness, officers found a trafficking amount of cocaine during a search of his vehicle. So once again, a 6 to 8 year prison sentence for Katwan O'Neill Moss of Hickory. He entered a guilty plea to trafficking fentanyl and cocaine in Catawba County Superior Court Tuesday. Reporting from Catawba County for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
A man wanted by Caldwell County authorities has been taken into custody. 31-year-old Zachary George Stevenson of Bright Avenue in Lenoir was arrested Tuesday by Lenoir police officers. He's charged with interfering with an electronic monitoring device, larceny, injury to personal property, and littering. The Caldwell County Sheriff's Office had previously requested assistance in finding Stevenson. Caldwell County Sheriff Kevin Bean thanked the Lenoir Police Department and the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office for their assistance in making the arrest. Stevenson was placed in the Caldwell County Detention Center under no bond following the arrest. A district court date is scheduled for February 17th. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
41-year-old James Joshua Noble of Ellendale Fire Department Road and 25-year-old Abraham Bailey Carswell of Taylorsville were both arrested by Alexander County Sheriff's officers Monday evening on felony counts of trafficking methamphetamine and possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver a controlled substance. They were also charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. Noble and Carswell were arrested as the result of an ongoing investigation conducted by Alexander County narcotics officers. The arrest warrants were served at Noble's residence. Noble was jailed in the Alexander County Detention Center under a secured bond of $150,000. Carswell is being held in the county jail under a $100,000 secured bond. They will both appear in district court on January 13th. Catawba County Sheriff's officers were involved in a standoff this morning at an address on Sunset Street, south of Newton. Officers arrived at the residence to serve a search warrant in connection with an investigation into someone who suffered from a gunshot wound and later turned up at a local hospital. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office described that individual's wound as a superficial injury. Deputies initially encountered some uncooperative individuals when they arrived on the scene. The STAR team was called in to serve the search warrant. The incident began at about 8:30 a.m. and ended at about 12:30 p.m. No additional injuries were reported. The STAR team, that's the Special Tactics and Response Unit, is made up of officers from every county agency with the exception of the Hickory Police Department. In Alexander County Court Monday, 33-year-old Tasha Deanne Oxford of Hudson was sentenced to 45 days in the Alexander County Detention Center. She was found guilty of felony hit and run and misdemeanor death by vehicle. Oxford was driving a vehicle in June 2023 when she struck another vehicle in Alexander County. According to the North Carolina State Highway Patrol, 35-year-old Royce Liddell Hall Jr. of Taylorsville passed away a few days later as the result of injuries sustained in the crash. Thanks to WACB's Rick Gilbert for that information. 58-year-old John Alexander of Helton Farm Road in Lenoir was arrested Wednesday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with felony indecent liberties with a child. Alexander was incarcerated in the Caldwell County Detention Center under a $1 million secured bond. No court date is currently listed.
The suspect in this case was arrested following a traffic stop during which methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia were reportedly seized. She was initially placed in jail without bond, but as of the time I'm filing this report, she is not listed as an inmate in Iredell County. 45-year-old Ann Nicole Lucas of Stony Point was arrested Tuesday by Troutman police officers. She's charged with possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. At approximately 7 p.m. Tuesday, officers conducted a traffic stop of a vehicle driven by Lucas in the 1000 block of Charlotte Highway in Troutman. A walk-around of the vehicle was conducted by a K9 unit. The K9 gave a positive indication of an odor of a controlled substance. A search of the vehicle was conducted, leading to the reported discovery of meth and drug paraphernalia. Lucas was arrested and was initially placed in the Iredell County Detention Center without bond due to the fact that she was out on bond from a prior narcotics charge. As of the time I'm filing this report, she is not listed as an inmate in Iredell County. A district court date is scheduled for January 29th. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
And a Hudson resident arrested with trafficking in methamphetamine. 47-year-old Robert Warren Perkey of Ruritan Club Road in Hudson was arrested Saturday by Lenoir police officers. He was charged with felony counts of possession, manufacture, sell, or deliver controlled substance, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver methamphetamine, trafficking in methamphetamine, conspiring to traffic, methamphetamine, and maintaining a vehicle or dwelling for controlled substance. Perky was jailed under $200,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for January 27th. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
Every week about this time, we take a look at some of the crime stories we had for you during the past week. In this case, that's the week of January 6th through 10th. Look for our weekly roundup every Saturday on our YouTube channel, along with our top stories, the crime report, local sports, and community focus. I'm Ralph Mangum. Thank you for joining us.